Goeiemôre, good morning. Môre aan Sarel, wat vroegoggend al groet hierso. All the way from Welcome Bay, my name is Viljoen. If I look out outside my window, the sun is slowly but surely lifting its head out there on the horizon. But a cooler morning down here in the Bay of Plenty. Slowly but surely, winter is creeping in over our mountain range at the back, and every morning it's become a bit more cooler. For the first time this year, I've basically closed down the windows so there's no cooler air coming in. The inside of our houses are very well insulated, so we don't have a big problem with our houses becoming cold. And then we got what they call heat pumps or air cons. We've got those down here. So, guys and girls, this morning, back to what's happened out in the world there. Coronavirus cases, we've reached the 500,000 mark. So we've passed the 500,000 mark, down to 510,000 people infected. That's hectic. We've reached 23,000 deaths. So very soon we'll probably be across the 25,000. That was always a point for me where I don't think we really want to go. So we could cross the 25,000 deaths within the next 2-3 days. On the other side, out of the 510,000 infected, we've got 122 that has recovered. Quite a few weird things this morning that I picked up. Where is New Zealand? New Zealand has increased quite significantly. We're down to 283. Total recovered is 27. Remember, New Zealand also gives through the probable cases, those that haven't been tested positive, but those that could be positive at the end of the day. So the African side has actually gone to the dogs. We've popped up in South Africa to 927. This is a matter of days. Presumably South Africans are going down in lockdown as well from tomorrow. Am I right? Where's the guys and girls that are in South Africa? The guys are going down for lockdown, or have you been in lockdown? Yeah, you guys have been day one in lockdown. That's correct. You guys have been day one in lockdown. Over all the world, it's looking bad, to be quite frank. Thing that I picked up, Italy has popped up another 6,100 cases. China is down to only 67 cases. So our Carl's saying it's 4 hours to lock down. Man, yep, we wish it would be over already, but yeah. All right, Italy up with 6,100 cases. Their death is 8,100 at this current state and climbing. The USA is up by 7,500 new cases. Their deaths are 1,100. So, new deaths in Italy was, for the past 24 hours, 662, while USA was only 73. New deaths in China was down to 6. So, it looks like the Chinese side of everything is slowly but surely winning this fight against their own virus. Spain has also been hard hit. Why Spain? I don't know. Spain comes in at nearly 60,000. Cases, new cases, nearly 7,000. Total deaths, 4,145. New deaths, 498. Nearly 500 new deaths in the past 24 hours. Germany also was hard hit at about 43,000 and Iran at 29,000. So that is the figures, the real bad figures. France also coming in at 25,000. Switzerland at 11. So on all the way down. But there's a lot of these Africa countries where it's only started picking up now. So let's see what the people is saying in South Africa. Lockdown begin vanaand om 12 o'clock. So, yep. Lockdown for you guys. It's not the sentence they make it out to be. It's not that bad. You only have to live with your own wife for a period of what? You guys only 21 days. We're 28 days here. So, yep, that is one of those things. On the financial markets, stuff has started looking weird. All right. If you think where we were a week ago, where everything was in the red, yesterday, and this is basically the second or the third day this week, everything has turned to the blue or the green. So it actually means that the market has picked up right in front of a period where we are actually expecting South Africa's bonds to be downgraded to junk very soon. The market has actually picked up. The South African market is up by 5%. It's still down by 24% in total. So it was down by nearly 30%, but it has at least gained 5.17% for yesterday. The financials up by 6%. The property, which is always a slow one to return, is back up by 11%, but it's still down by 48%. So property went down nearly 60%. That is hectic. Global markets looks all right, except the French CAC 40. Now that's the name of the market. CAC 40, it has got no gains there. So the Dow Jones up by 2, S&P 500 by 1, CAC 40 by 0, DAX 30 by 1.7, the FTSE 4.4, the Hang Seng the 3.8, and the Nikkei 8.04. So the FTSE, the Hang Seng, and the Nikkei is ones that I'm currently watching to see where they are going, because that'll be an idea where the East is coming from. So, but in overall, the market's still down for the period from the 1st of Jan till now. Down by 25, 32, 25, 16, 17%. So it's still way down. Let's see what the people of South Africa say. The shops was crazy today. People are stocking up. I do understand that. Carl asking, is it the Chinese virus? It's a Chinese virus. Here in East London, East Cape, majority of people not taking it seriously, going on with their daily lives, loitering a lot. That comes from Sarika. Mishka saying she stood for 2 hours in Checkers. Yeah, I saw that you can't purchase any alcohol for this period of time. That coming from Carl. But I've seen pictures of people throwing their stock that they've built up over the period of time on Facebook this morning. It actually looked hectic. So, Alcibi Snowman said at 8 o'clock this morning, the popular shop has no flour, yeast or maize. It's interesting that a lot of people is buying flour. I saw that the flour is quite a bit of a thing that's gone out. Even down here where we live, flour, those racks are empty, and it was empty the other morning when we walked in at 8 o'clock. So it looks like there was a lot of stock built up as well. Sarah says, don't forget the smokes as well. Presumably, yeah, presumably you can't buy cigarettes as well. Quite interesting how the government works on that side. Andre, our first lockdown day wasn't bad at all. The big thing that I found out about lockdown, it's quiet. Goodness me, it's so quiet. I can hear my neighbors speaking in the houses next to me. First time ever, and I've been living here for over a year now, so I could hear them speak to each other, and they weren't arguing, they were just talking, so I could hear them actually speak out there. This is how quiet this was. And if you look out of my window this morning, it's not a vehicle, you can't see lights anywhere, and I can see quite a lot of the city. So there's not lights anywhere moving, so people are taking it quite seriously up to a point. I've seen certain parts where people think it's fine to go and do picnics with their friends living in other bubbles, as they call it here. I'll tell you about the bubble thing now. They went for picnics in the parks and stuff like that, and the police had to sort that out. So police is taking this seriously as well. So it's not good to go out of your bubble. The bubble they talk here in New Zealand is about staying within the group that's in your house. Your house is your bubble, and you always got to stay in that group. So that is probably something you should do in South Africa as well. We try not to get nearer than 2.5 meters, or even 3 meters. We actually went walking yesterday, and as people approached us, we stepped out in the street. Nobody thought about being strange or anything about that. I think people just enjoyed the fact that we tried to keep them safe as well, because you got to think about that. You could be the bearer of the virus without knowing that. That is how bad this virus is. You can't go and say, oh, this morning I got the virus. It's not like that. It's about 14 days down the line that you'll only find out if you have the virus. I see Meshka saying the bottle stores in Alice Russ is empty. Herman May asking if you got income protection that one can claim from that. Basically, income protection means you need to be hurt or sick. There's other types of insurance that you probably could claim from this, but in New Zealand, you can claim from government. So you can get up to 80% or $585 per week. I'm still gonna organize us next week that we speak to one of the guys that works with that. I'm in consultation with him to come on the show for us and to explain to people out there, if you have been fired, how will that affect you if you can claim and so on. So that is something to keep your eyes up for next week. Andre's saying you're going to see what the taxes are going to make. That is something else as well. I mean, the big thing that worries me about Africa, and I don't want to go into politics now, the big thing that worries me there is you've got guys that live from hand to mouth. So every R5 that falls into that hand has to buy something just to see them out to tomorrow. How are they going to survive for 21 days? I can't get that picture in my head. Okay. Henk Kruger saying Wellington was quiet, the highways was empty. Sarah saying no public transportation allowed. Herman Mayer saying my wallet is hurt and sick. Guys, this is the time that you must keep your wallet closed as far as possible. Buy the essential stuff. Do not go to the shops. Do not do the AliExpress, the Wish, those type of things. You got to be able to see this through for a period of time. When we do financial planning with our clients, we always tell them about the fact that keep at least 3 to 6 months of wages somewhere. I know it's not always viable for people to have that large amount of money just lying somewhere, but it's so important that you need to have some backup cash, as I say, emergency money for that time that something breaks and you really need to fix that. So Sarah saying only essential services allowed on our road. They have made us, believe it or not, us as financial advisors is essential services, so we are allowed to go out, but I don't think we would really want to go out and see clients. So on essential workers at 50% capacity of the vehicle license allowed. All right. Probably what Carl means here is that you can only load half of what the amount of your vehicles can load for. You're only allowed 2. Yeah, Andre saying he's a plumber. Some of the plumbers I know is essential services as well. I don't know if every plumber is a plumber, but Andre can probably tell us if all plumbers are essential services or did you have to apply somewhere for this. I also see that from South Africa there's tons of photos doing the rounds of massive army movements and so on. Guys, you've got to stay focused. A lot of these photos are fake. Easiest way I'll explain to you how to get a fake photo now. Most of those photos is fake and it comes from a 2019 army drill that they had, and people are now putting this all up. So to go to see if a photo is fake on Facebook, you open the photo up, so that's the biggest photo there. You go with your mouse, you right click on that button, and then it will bring up a lot of things. You go there, Google search Google for images. You just click on that little thing. It'll open up a new page and it will bring up any similar photos like that. Sometimes it'll bring photos out of context, but if that photo has been used specifically somewhere else, you just got to look for that. It'll bring up a block of a lot of photos, and then it'll bring up single photos. Go and look at the single photos. See if that photo is appearing in any of those single photos, and you'll quickly understand where that photo comes from as quickly, as easily as that. So even these beautiful chicks that invite you in Facebook and want to ask you all these nice questions, especially for the guys that don't get girls, go and click on their profile photo, right click and see where they stole this photo. So as easy as that. This morning is Friday, day 2 for us. Day 1 went down good. I saw all my neighbors cleaning up the yards or the areas that they live in. So I've still postponed mine, but I think the wife will have me out this morning. It looks like it's not gonna rain. I was actually hoping for a bit of rain, but I think the wife will have me out there this morning cleaning up my area around my house because I have neglected that a bit. So I'll send you photos as we go along to see how I'm cleaning the yard up. So let's see a few other questions here. All right, people saying they'll try it and do the right click thing with a mouse. Guys, it's important to know who's looking at your Facebook and who is the right person or the wrong person out there. Something that I have found in the last 2 days that I do a lot is I wash my hands a lot. This is quite weird. I haven't never been like this. So I just keep on washing hands, and if I walk past people, Or while we were walking yesterday, we just did a quick short walk down to the local park. Did about 4,000 steps or so just to get um, the blood flowing again. And on that walk, as we passed people, my thoughts of everybody coming on was, do they have the virus or not? It's actually weird. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I said to them, the morning of 9/11, or actually the afternoon of 9/11, I was sick at home. It was one of those days where I stayed at home. I don't often stay at home. Having your own business, you don't stay at home. I don't know if there's other business people who stay at home once they are sick. But at that time, I was in the pub and grill and the pizza place and stuff like that. But I was really sick, and I stayed at home that day. And for first time probably in 5 years that I had the television on that day, and I saw those planes go into the Twin Towers. I mean, that day was a day that I said, wow. I mean, wow, this is really happening. The morning they let Nelson Mandela out of jail, we were in the barracks in Pretoria. For those who don't know, I was a policeman those years, and I sat in front of that television and said, wow, it's really happening. The same now, we are in total lockdown, and the whole world is in lockdown. And for me, again, it's just, wow, it is really happened. So, Andre asking, do you think after 28 days, New Zealand will go back to normal? It will take a miracle for us to go back to normal after 28 days, to be quite frank on that. I would rather say brace yourself for about 6 weeks to 8 weeks. I'm just basing this on what the rest of the world did. That's why I think the South African 21 days was quite stupid to do it that short. And they probably will stick to 21 days, otherwise everything will be burnt down. But China took two months. China's only coming out of stuff now. So it took China 2 months to clean up to the point where there are, what did I say to you guys, 28 deaths, where they are down to 6 deaths. It took China about 2 months just to get down to 6 deaths. They were hectically at a certain stage. Italy, with their nearly 700 new deaths, will take even longer. I think Italy will be 3-4 months probably. I don't know why the people are dying like that in Italy. It's actually hectic to think about that. Elsie's asking, Elsie, you are in South Africa, so Vanita also saying 6 to 8 weeks. Wonder if we will be allowed to cut the grass outside the yard. If anybody of you are willing to come and cut my grass, I will stay in my house for the whole period of time, so no worries about that. Vanita saying New Zealand borders most likely to only open end of September. Vanita's quite right here. I was actually thinking about this yesterday, because you think once this pandemic is over in New Zealand, everything is back to normal, but it's not. The rest of the world is only playing catch up now. Places like Africa, South Africa, all these countries that do come here has only reached a certain point where I think we have already gone past now. I think those countries are only reaching that point now. The South African one can be the same as China or the USA or wherever else. And until those places aren't back to normal, they won't be allowed in at all. So it could probably be that New Zealand is closing their borders in total, or even let's say to December. So keep that in mind, guys. I saw that there's about 10,000 New Zealanders on their way here, people that have been stuck in other countries. It's their right to come down here. It's their right to come back to New Zealand. But the problem would also be is, what do they bring with them? Are they bringing the virus in or not? So, yeah. Melinda Britz saying, I need to get back to New Zealand. Carl Lazar saying, a new world, not social distancing, actually physical distancing. Yeah, it's a new world out there. I mean, here I can sit and talk to you guys, some of you back in South Africa, some of you in New Zealand, but we're not talking face to face. We've lost that interaction. We've lost the way that we used to communicate with a handshake and sometimes with a beer or a coffee. We have lost that communication from now going forward. I don't know when that will come back, but I do hope that we can get that back, that interaction between people, that we can look each other in the eye and say, let's talk about this, like it has been, yeah, it sounds better, like it has been in the old days. So yeah, We're living a part of history day by day. Every day we're living the history that our kids will read about one day in the history book. So if they even have history as a subject anymore. So they'll talk about the big world wars, they'll talk about Corona, they'll talk about these things. Andre saying, I want to come to New Zealand, so we'll probably be only next year. Anybody thinking of coming to New Zealand, anybody thinking of applying for new jobs, guys, you got to put that on the ice for a while. You got to really put that on the ice for a while. So Chris is saying you can at least have another braai. So yeah, we will have to social braai one of these days, and we will have to do a video braai or stuff like that with your friends, and have a video. Now this is water. Video beer with your chummies across the road. That is how bad it's going to be very soon. So the lockdown is basically there to give you a chance to build your bubble, to speak to the people in your bubble and to protect them. So keep that in mind. If you guys go outside, venture outside, use gloves, use a mask, spray yourself with disinfectant, leave your shoes outside. I know in South Africa probably your shoes will be stolen if you leave them outside. But we will come in through your garage and leave your shoes in your garage, because even at the soles of your feet, of the shoes, you can tramp in the virus, bring that into your bubble, and that's something you've got to protect. So if you go to the shops, or need to go to the shops during lockdown, only one person need to go. Only one person. I think only one person is allowed to go. I don't know the rules regarding that, but just put one person at risk. That will be me. So I will come back. I will see that I sanitize myself before I go into my own house. It'll be just for my own mind's well-being, that I know I'm trying to protect my family and my bubble, whoever's in that bubble, because we've got other people also in that bubble. So we're currently 4 adults in this household, which one is my son, and you saw Alzaan Mayberg yesterday, where she showed us how to huff and puff. So we'll probably have her back on to give us a few other lessons on huffing and puffing. So she's also stuck in limbo. Local physiotherapist can't work at current, but she's running from home. She's working from home here, talking to her customers either by Skype or talking to the customers on the phone, getting them up and running again, while she aren't allowed to see them face to face. So, yep, Melinda saying she's stuck in South Africa. Carl saying buying shares in Skype and Zoom now. Yep, but I think Skype is probably on the way out. I haven't used Skype for many years. It's quite interesting. Yeah, Cornelia saying she's outside in Boksburg in Gauteng, and she can hear how quiet it is becoming. The interesting thing is, a normal work day for us was where we are here. We look down at one of the main arteries of Welcome Bay, running all the way from Tupuki through Welcome Bay into the top part of Tauranga down here. And this was the one way where the police and St. John's and everybody else who had a siren used to pass here. I haven't heard a siren in 2 days. I just haven't heard a siren in 2 days. I've got very little noise on the road here. Very, very little noise on the road here. Down the bottom here, we've got the Caltex and a Foursquare down here. The Caltex is still open and the Foursquare is still open. So even those two doesn't attract a lot of business currently. So, yep, guys, you gotta be out there, and you gotta be sure that this is gonna tackle the whole world's finances. The world is going to go into a Corona recession, if that is right. Even all the markets that I showed you this morning, even though the markets is in the green, the problem is still out there. People cannot spend their money really at this time. So where your normal baker, your greengrocer, no, not the greengrocer, your normal, let's say your baker, your guy from the liquor store, the local plumber could go out and canvass some work. They all are stuck at home. So very soon these guys will probably run out of money. Luckily in New Zealand you can apply for a government grant. Government grant has been up now to $9.3 billion. So that money is there. The money is there for you to put your claim in. So if you lost your job, you can claim against that. If you are a sole trader, if you are a company, if you've got people underneath you, there's certain rules and regulations, and keep to that, and put a claim in against the government for that money. Government is really willing to reach out and help people. I don't know if the South African government, that stimulus package they are providing, if that's any good. So I won't go that way. I won't tell you anything about that. I just saw that on paper. I saw that Oppenheimer and somebody else gave 2 billion rand as well. But I think 2 billion rand won't do anything really there. It's not a lot of money in South Africa. Kelly van den Oever, interesting selling, just said, haven't heard any noise either. Got excited to hear and see a courier vehicle come down the road. So that's some form of norm for the day. Yeah, actually yesterday we could hear, it was our rubbish day, and we could hear the truck going around all the little streets picking up. So, yeah. Sir Manu, good morning. Is the grant by government taxed? It could be taxed in your personal capacity. I don't know if it's taxed in the capacity of you as a company. One thing that I saw about the government grant is if you have received it and you haven't used it, or your company isn't down by 30%, you are supposed to give it back. So just keep that in mind. If you receive the money and your company is still going, keep it one side. After all this is over and you haven't gone down 30%, they could audit you and ask where's the money, and you will be forced to pay that back. So Cherie's now saying SA is still not getting the urgency. Went out today for the first and last time in 2 weeks. Down and mall were nuts. I know lockdown only starts tonight. The thing is, with these, a lot of people milling around suddenly just before lockdown. I saw this in our local shops as well. The spread of the virus could be hectic down there. So it's another 14 days from day one of lockdown to see how many people will get sick just from being in the mall there. Vanita saying, my husband, I have claimed for the government grant as we're both no longer working. I doubt it's taxed. Vanita, I want to get Siegfried on here. Siegfried is my tax guy, so I want him to get on here and explain us more about the grant. He's very clued up to that, but he's just doing taxes at the minute. Yep, they're still taxing us, don't believe me. So he's just doing the GST for the month end now for all of us. But I'll speak to him next week and I'll get him on here and he can explain to us a bit more about all these grants and the tax ways and how to claim and how not to claim and who can claim and who can't claim. So Herman Mayer say, for the person that's the age 49 or 50 that wants to immigrate, are they going to have broken dreams if this continues to the end of the year? What happens if they get too old next year? Herman, yeah, I think the cut-off age for New Zealand is 55, and I'm not an immigration advisor, so don't quote me on that. Vanita is the right person to speak to there. So if you are below the age 55, and I think that's on the Immigration New Zealand website, that will probably be the age to look at. So 49, I came over when we were, what, probably 48. So yep, 48, you can still make it. I haven't done that. So then saying yes, please, because if we get taxed on that 80%, we're going to battle paying rent. So then I fully understand that. So I will ask Siegfried to come on. And next week he will be there. But on Monday, as we're running out of time this morning, Monday morning we are going to do a bit of baking for you. So we've decided to do a bit of a diversification regarding this. We will. The wife has promised me that we are allowed with our cameras into the kitchen. We will do a bit of baking for you guys for just show you something quick that we normally do when people arrive here, and we do not have cookies and stuff like that. All right, guys and girls, our time has come and gone. Herman saying, okay, for the ones bordering on 55. I think your expression of interest, that's your thing for residents, I think has got to be in before age 55. But don't quote me on that, please. I'm a financial advisor. Guys and girls, my name is Jan Viljoen, financial advisor, all the way from Welcome Bay down here in Tauranga. The sun has risen this morning and it's going to be a glorious morning. And I see my wife will really get me out in the garden there today. So, all right, that's me. Thanks for listening to me. I'll quickly show you how the sun looks once it's risen down there. See you all on Monday. Remember, we won't be doing this on Saturday or Sunday. I need to take a day off. So, Sunel saying, Sunel is a master baker. I'll set my alarm for the baking class. Sunel, I hope we can teach you something. Otherwise, it is your chance to teach us something. So, all right, guys and girls, thanks a lot. That's me. I'm out of here now. So, let me show you the outside. Bye-bye. Early morning, no cars.